Good morning, all. Welcome to the revision session of yesterday's class. So, first question was Giuseppe Mazzini. He was an Italian revolutionist. He was born in 1804 in Genoa. He formed two secret society. He was a member of the secret society Carbonari. At the age of 26 in 1831, he was sent to exile for participating in a revolution in Liguria. He formed two secret societies, Young Italy and Young Europe. Young Italy was formed in Marseilles, and Young Europe was formed in Bern. He believed that God has intended the nation to be the natural units of human mankind. He was a revolutionist. He wanted Italy to be a democratic, unified country. His ideas were spread across other parts of Europe too, and this helped to get Italy to be unified. Giuseppe Mazzini was a famous Italian revolutionary and nationalist. He was born in Genoa in 1805. He became a member of the secret society Carbonari. In 1831, he was exiled for attempting a revolution in Liguria. He founded Young Italy in Marseilles. He also founded Young Europe in Bern. He believed that nations were the natural units of mankind. He wanted Italy to be united into a single democratic republic. He opposed monarchy and supported democracy. His ideas inspired nationalist movements across Europe and contributed to the unification of Italy. Short revision: 1805 Genova, secret society Carbonari, founded Young Italy or Young Europe, a united democratic Italy, and contribution inspired European nationalism. This is Count Camillo di Cavour. Count Camillo di Cavour, point-wise answer. Count Camillo di Cavour. Count Camillo di Cavour. He was associated with German unification. No. He was associated with Italy unification. Yes. 4 persons were involved in Italy unification. They were Giuseppe Mazzini, Cavour, Giuseppe Garibaldi, Victor Emmanuel II. In this, Cavour was the chief minister of Sardinia Piedmont, and Victor Emmanuel II was the king of Sardinia Piedmont. And this Cavour was neither a revolutionary nor a democratic. Through his diplomatic alliance with France, he conquered Austria and joined it to the Sardinia Piedmont. He supported Victor Emmanuel II, the king of Sardinia Piedmont. Like other rich people in the other rich people in the Italy, he speak French rather than Italian. He joined northern Italy to the Sardinia Piedmont. He was considered to be the chief architect of Italian unification. So Count Camillo di Cavour. Count Camillo di Cavour was the chief minister of Sardinia Piedmont. He played a leading role in the unification of Italy. He was neither a revolutionary nor a democrat like Mazzini. Through his diplomatic skills, he modernized Sardinia Piedmont. He secured the support of France against Austria. In 1859, Sardinia Piedmont defeated Austria with French help. This victory led to the annexation of several Italian states. Cavour worked under King Victor Emmanuel II. He successfully united northern Italy and Sardinia Piedmont. He is regarded as one of the chief architects of Italian unification. He is regarded as one of the chief architects of Italian unification. And position. He was the chief minister of Sardinia Piedmont, worked with Victor Emmanuel II, method, diplomacy and alliances, helped by France's contribution, architect of Italian unification. The Greek War of Independence. Greek Greek War of Independence was an inspiration to the entire European countries to get nationalized. Greek War of Revolution was started in 1821. Greek has been ruled by Ottoman Empire since 15th century. The people hated this Ottoman Empire and wanted to throw out or want to be free from this Ottoman Empire. So, Greek nationalists started fighting for Greek unification or Greek independence, from whom all Greek get support. Those Greek people who lived exile or lived abroad, and some of the Western countries supported this Greek revolutionists. Also, poets and artisans also helped in the journey of Greek independence as independence. Many of the European countries also supported Greek War of Independence because they considered or they were admired by the culture of the Greek War of culture by the Greek, and they considered Greek as the cradle of European civilization. One poet that is mentioned in the Greek Revolution is Lord Byron. He was an English poet who came from England and fight in Greek War of Independence. He collected funds, he fought war, but in 1824 he died due to fever. And after all this, in 1832, the Treaty of Constantinople recognized Greece as an independent nation. Greek War of Independence has been a successful nationalist movement in Europe, and it inspired a lot of people or other countries of the Europe too. Greece had been part of an Ottoman Empire since 15th century. The struggle for Greek independence began in 1821. It was inspired by the growth of nationalism in Europe. Greeks living in exile and many West Europeans supported the movement. European poets and artists praised Greece as a cradle of European civilization. Lord Byron, the English poet, collected funds and fought for the Greek cause. Lord Byron died of fever in 1824 during the war. The struggle continued for several years against Ottoman rule. The Treaty of Constantinople 1832 recognized Greece as an independent nation. The Greek War of Independence became an important example of a successful nationalist movement in Europe. Began in 1821 against Ottoman Empire, supported by European nationalists. Important person Lord Byron. Result: Greece became independent in 1832. began in 1821 against Ottoman Empire, supported by European nationalists. Important person was Lord Byron. Result: Greece became independent in 1832. The Frankfurt Parliament. The Frankfurt Parliament was conducted at 18 May 1848 in the Church of St. Paul in Frankfurt. There included 831 representatives from Germany. Representatives from German state who included middle class people, professionals, businessmen, and prosperous artisans. They were there to discuss about the German unification. And its main aim was to unite German state into a nation state. St. Paul's to Frankfurt. Okay. The king was they given the crown to Frederick Wilhelm IV of Prussia. He rejected the crown and opposed to the elected assembly. The parliament lost the support of workers and artisans. Eventually, troops were called in and the Frankfurt parliament was forced to disband. Place St. Paul's Church, Frankfurt. Frankfurt Parliament. Once again, Frankfurt Parliament. What was Frankfurt Parliament? It was mainly a parliament that was conducted by 831 representatives from German states. The date it was conducted on 18 May 1848. Where does it conducted? It was conducted in Church of St. Paul, Frankfurt. And what was the main agenda of this Frankfurt Parliament? They attended this Parliament for German unification, or they organized this Parliament for they formed this Parliament for the German unification. And who lead this, or who were the members, or who organized this Frankfurt Parliament? They were German middle class people. That include middle class professionals, businessmen, and prosperous artisans. and their main aim was to unify the German states into a nation state. And the parliament drafted a constitution for a united Germany. So the parliament drafted a constitution for a united Germany. It proposed a constitutional monarchy with the parliament. And they offered the crown to Frederick William I of the King of Prussia. But the king rejected the offer and stand with or supported the monarchs. And this Frankfurt Parliament also got wide opposition from the workers and artisans of the members or middle class people, because their conditions or their they were not considered, or their requirements were not considered in the Frankfurt Parliament. Their numbers was majority, and this Frankfurt Parliament also got opposed from monarchs and military. As a result, this Frankfurt Parliament collapsed or was forced to disband. They proposed a constitution under the guidance of king, that is constitutional monarchy with a parliament. They parliamented a constitution for the German united Germany, and they passed constitutional monarchy with a parliament. So Frankfurt Parliament. The Frankfurt Parliament was convened on 18 May 1848 in the Church of St. Paul, Frankfurt. It was attended by 831 elected representatives from different German states. The members were mainly middle class professional businessmen and prosperous artisans. Its main aim was to unite the German states into a nation state. The Parliament drafted a constitution for a united Germany. It proposed a constitutional monarchy with the Parliament. The crown was offered to King Frederick Wilhelm IV of Prussia. He rejected the crown and opposed to the elected assembly. The parliament lost the support of workers and artisans. Eventually, troops were called in and the Frankfurt Parliament was forced to disband. Place St. Paul's Church, Frankfurt, 18 May 1848. Members 831 elected representatives. A German unification. King Frederick Wilhelm IV rejected the crown. The role of women in nationalist struggles. Point-wise answer. The women participated actively in liberal and national movements. They formed their own political associations. They founded and published newspapers and journals. Women took part in political meetings and demonstrations. They supported movements for national unity and constitutional rights. Despite their participation, they were denied political rights. They were not given the right to vote. Women were not allowed to observe the proceedings of the Frankfurt Parliament from the visitors' gallery. So women were actively liberal. First one, they were participating in many liberal and nationalist movements. They formed their own political associations, and they founded newspapers and journals. They took part in political meetings and demonstrations. They fight for constitution and national unity. Despite their participation, they were denied political rights. They were not given the right to vote. Women were only allowed to observe the proceedings of the Frankfurt Parliament from the visitors' gallery. Louis Otto Peters was a prominent political activist who fought for women's rights. Their contribution played an important role in the growth of nationalist movement in Europe. Louis Otto Peters. What steps did the French revolutionaries take to create a sense of collective identity among the French people? They introduced the ideas of They introduced the ideas of le patrie, the fatherland, and le citoyen, the citizen. They promoted the idea of united community enjoying equal rights under the constitution. They adopted the tricolor flag to replace the royal standard. The States General was elected and renamed the National Assembly. New hymns were composed and oaths were taken in the name of the nation. Martyrs were commemorated as national heroes. A centralized administrative system was established. Uniform laws were introduced for all citizens. Internal custom duties were abolished and a uniform system of weights and measures was adopted. Regional dialects were discouraged and French spoken in Paris became the national language. La Patrie and Le Citoyen, tricolor flag, National Assembly, national hymns and oaths, uniform laws, abolition of custom duties, common weights and measures, French as a national language. Who were Mariana and Germania? What was the importance of the way in which they were portrayed? Mariana was the female allegory of the French nation. Germany was the female allegory of German nation. Artists personified nations as female figures to give a concrete form to the abstract idea of a nation. Mariana's characteristics were drawn from Liberty and the Republic. She was represented with the red cap, tricolor, and cockade. Statues of Mariana were erected in public places to promote national unity. Her images were printed on coins and stamps. Germania symbolized the German nation and national unity. Germany was shown wearing a crown of oak leaves symbolizing heroism. These allegories helped create and strengthen nationalist feelings among the people. Mariana, France, Germany, both were female allegories of the nation. Mariana, red cap, tricolor, cockade. Germany, crown of oak leaves. Purpose, promote nationalism and national unity. The nationalist feelings were widespread among the middle class Germans. In 1848, they tried to unite the German states through the Frankfurt Parliament. This attempt failed because it was opposed by the monarchy and military. After this, Prussia took the leadership of the unification movement. Otto von Bismarck, the chief minister of Prussia, became the architect of German unification. Bismarck used a policy of blood and iron and relied on Prussian army. Prussia fought 3 wars against Denmark, Austria and France. Prussia won all 3 wars and united German states. In January 1871, William I was proclaimed German emperor at Versailles. What changes did Napoleon introduce to make the administrative system more efficient in the territories ruled by him? Napoleon introduced the Civil Code of 1804, also known as the Napoleonic Code. The code abolished all privileges based on birth. It established equality before the law. It secured the right to property. He simplified administrative divisions in the territories under his control. He abolished the feudal system. Peasants were freed from serfdom and manorial dues. Guild restrictions in towns were removed. Transport and communication systems were improved. Uniform laws, standardized weights and measures, and a common currency helped trade and economic growth. Napoleonic Code 1804, equality before law, right to property, end of feudalism, end of serfdom, removal of guild restrictions, improved transport and communication, uniform laws and common currency.